The sky tore open over the abandoned city when the Karo battleships descended through the atmosphere. Their tremendous dark hulls shut out the sun, casting a shadow over the ruins below. These ships, quiet but threatening, hovered just above the ground before lowering ramp after ramp. From the depths of their holds, hundreds of armored figures marched forward in perfect unison. The Karo executioners had arrived on Earth. Zarek, the commander of this elite battalion, stood at the forefront. His crimson armor shimmered against the desolation of the city. His cold, reptilian eyes studied the landscape with hatred. To him, Earth was just another war-ravaged planet, one of several his species had conquered. The Galactic Empire had sent them here with a simple goal: remove the remaining pockets of human resistance that had proven too troublesome for the Empire's forces. "Begin the sweep," Zarek commanded, his speech harsh and devoid of emotion. His second-in-command, Crows, nodded and began barking orders. The battalion fanned out, moving through the ruins with mechanical precision, weapons drawn and scanning for any signs of life. Their armor glinted under the slivers of light breaking through the ships above. Their movements were quiet, but devastating. Zarek's gaze rested on the vestiges of the city. It had once been a place of life, its streets flooded with the mundane sounds of human activity. Now, just hollow shells of buildings remained, decaying under the weight of time and conflict. The Karo had seen worlds like this before, worlds that had resisted and failed. But something about this area felt off. Zarek, a seasoned warrior, could detect a strange tension in the air. The reports had mentioned human resistance, small, scattered groups using guerrilla tactics. Yet, as his battalion advanced, there was no trace of life. Not even the faintest echo of footsteps or a rustling in the wind. Minutes passed. Then hours. The executioners pushed deeper into the heart of the city, methodical in their search. But the quiet lingered. It was as if the city itself had been abandoned long before their arrival. Zarek's instincts, refined over countless campaigns, told him something wasn't right. Commander Crow's voice crackled over the comms. "We've lost contact with Unit 9. Zarek's eyes narrowed. "Lost contact?" "Yes." They were sweeping the southern sector. Communications went dark. Abruptly, Zarek's grip tightened on his weapon. Interference wasn't unusual in hostile environments, but the executioners were equipped with the most advanced technology in the galaxy. Their systems didn't just fail. "Send a recon team. I want answers." Crows complied. But within minutes, another message came through. "Commander, Unit 6 has gone dark as well. Northern perimeter." Zarek's patience wore thin. This wasn't malfunction. The units were under attack. But by what? His alien mind struggled to fathom an enemy capable of eliminating his soldiers so silently. He had faced insurgents, rebels, assassins, but never had his forces been picked apart like this. The comms flared again. This time, Sai's voice was more urgent. "Commander, there's something on the helmet cam from Unit 9. You need to see this." Zarek tapped a button on his wrist, projecting a holographic feed. The footage flickered to life, showing Unit 9 advancing through the ruins. Weapons raised. The footage was shaky, but clear enough. Then, darkness. The camera cut out for a few seconds. When it returned, one thing was visible. A figure, standing amidst the fallen executioners. He was covered in a long, torn shroud, his face obscured by shadows. Still. Silent. And yet, it was the way he stood that sent a shiver down Zarek's spine. Motionless, like death itself. The camera zoomed in, then the feed cut out for good. "Who is this?" Zarek growled. No answer. His soldiers were being hunted. And this thing was. Responsible Crows, watching beside him, shifted uneasily. It's just one man," he said. though his voice lacked conviction. "One man who's killed 2 units without a sound," Zarek replied coldly. "We are being hunted." Zarek replayed the footage in his mind. The figure had made no attempt to hide. No stealth, no hesitation. Just the quiet confidence of a predator who had nothing to fear, not even the best killers in the galaxy. This was no rebel. This was something else. Crows. "Initiate Protocol 17. We are no longer searching. We're hunting." "Yes, Commander." The Caro altered their tactics. They moved in larger formations, deployed drones, scanners, and thermal detectors, all designed to root out the faintest trace of human life. But no matter how advanced their tech, the city remained silent. Zarek couldn't shake the mounting dread. Every commander prided himself on control. But this enemy, the one the scattered humans had whispered about in their dying breaths, felt beyond his reach. Another report came in. Another unit lost. Zarek's frustration boiled over. "Enough of this! Find him! End this!" As the battalion spread out again, Zarek paused. Staring at the skyline, he had come to Earth expecting a slaughter. Now it appeared the slaughter was waiting for him. The executioners had arrived to deliver death. Yet it seemed death had arrived first, a silent shadow. No fear of them, no reverence for their prowess. This was no longer a mission of extermination. This was survival. Zarek stood beneath the gloom of the hovering cruisers, the city closing in around him. His executioners, once the apex killers of the Empire, were on edge. Their confidence cracking, their enemy was nowhere and everywhere, wandering the ruins like a ghost. "Crows," Zarek called to his second-in-command. "Status." "We've lost 4 more troops, Commander. Down to 65. Drones detect nothing. But this is no ordinary human. He's using the shadows, the terrain. He knows this city." Crows hesitated. It's almost as if he didn't finish. Zarek didn't need him to. It was as if this thing controlled the city itself, bending it to his will. But Zarek refused to believe in superstition. "Do you believe in ghosts, Crows?" "No, Commander," Crows said quickly. But the lack of conviction in his voice betrayed him. "Good. Because we're not being hunted by a ghost. This is a man, and he will bleed, just like the others." Crows nodded, but Zarek could see it, the uncertainty blooming in his stance. The executioners were not hunters. They were butchers, trained to overwhelm, not stalk. This enemy was changing the rules. Suddenly a crackle on the comms. "Unit 12 to command." "We've sighted something. Sector 3. Zarek's heart surged. "Report." There was a pause, then a low, shaking voice. "It's him, the one they called Death. Static. Unit 12 report," Zarek barked. Silence. "Crows, take a team to Sector 3. Find him." "Yes, Commander." Crows gathered a squad and vanished into the decaying streets. Zarek patched into Crows' helmet cam, watching the feed in real time. The executioners marched with deadly grace, weapons raised, eyes sharp. The wind screamed through the empty city. "I don't like this," one soldier muttered. Silence. "Stay sharp. He's out here," Crows snapped. Minutes passed. Then, movement, a flash in. The distant but shaky camera jolted as Crowley turned, eyes narrowing at a shadow that seemed to dart between 2 buildings. "There," Crowley hissed, his team moving fast toward the alley. They raced in, rifles raised, but as they rounded the corner, they discovered nothing. Only emptiness. Emptiness. And the faint murmur of metal clattering in the distance. Sai's breathing quickened, his hands tightening on his weapon. "He's messing with us," he muttered. "Keep your guard up." Before they could react, a sound like shredding metal echoed from behind them. The camera spun just in time to record a hazy death. He moved with incredible speed, closing the distance in an instant. Crowley's men fired, guns blazing, but they struck only empty air as the figure withdrew into the shadows again, leaving 2 troops dead in his wake. Their bodies fell, lifeless, before they even recognized they'd been struck. Crowley cursed, his composure slipping as he barked into the quiet. "We need reinforcements. He's here." Another flash. Another strike. This time, the camera went dark, and Zarek heard only the faraway sound of a blade cutting through the air, followed by a sickening thud. Crowley was gone. Zarek tightened his fists, his anger rising. "Pull the remaining units back to the plaza," he ordered. "We regroup. We take him down together." The executioners fell back, gathering in the city's central square. Their numbers thinned, their once unshakable confidence destroyed. They had come to Earth expecting an easy annihilation, but now they were the prey, pursued by something that defied all logic. This was not how conflicts were meant to be fought. They were Caro, executioners of the galaxy. How could one man be doing this to them? Zarek's musings were interrupted by a bizarre noise. Laughter. It resonated through the ruins, cold and mocking. It wasn't human, nor was it alien. It was something else entirely. It was death. "You suppose you can escape me?" A voice roared from the shadows. You can't run! You can't hide! You will all die, here, on this desolate world!" Zarek gritted his teeth, his eyes darting from shadow to shadow. "Show yourself!" he yelled, but the only answer was a tiny murmur of wind through the deserted streets. The executioners, gathered together in the square,